We're now live on Facebook. Hi, everyone. You know me, Cindy, and I'm so happy to be here. And I'm already feeling the energy shift because of this woman I'm about to introduce you to. And before I do that, and as I ask you to just sort of take a breath and get settled, because if you're here, it's because you were called here, right? Why don't you go ahead and hit the share button so that your friends and your loved ones can also spend these next 15 or 20 minutes hanging out with Louise K. Hi, Louise.
Hi.
It's wonderful to have you here. I was thrilled when I found out that I was going to have this time to just chat with you, getting ready for the Know Thyself conference next month. It's the end of April. But I would love if you would take a few minutes and just share whatever it is about yourself and what you do and what excites you about this work.
Thank you, Cindy. Very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me. So my name is Louise K, and I have a deep passion for truth. And what that means to me is an inquiry about the truth of who we are. And I really love to sit and explore with people and find out what is the root cause of suffering, because ultimately all of us want the same thing. We all want to be at peace and we all want to be happy. So the big question is, what is it that's preventing us from experiencing that inner peace and happiness? And if you ask this question to people, oh, why are you not at peace right now? Why are you not happy? Why are you suffering? The answer usually points to something external, like, oh, well, my relationship's going through a rocky phase, I'm having difficulties, or my health's really not good right now, I've got this problem in my body, or I just lost half my money, I'm really struggling financially, or I'm having problems at work, I can't find a job. And I like to invite people to discover a peace that's here, that's not dependent on externalities or experiences, because those experiences, the forms in our life, are constantly changing. And if we become still and bring our attention fully present into this moment, then we can discover something that's unchanging. And what that is our true nature. This is what I mean when I say I have a love for truth. This is the truth that calls my heart, this vast, infinite, spacious awareness. And that's who we are when we go beyond the story of me and my life and all my problems and external struggles, and we go deeper and we look, what is it that's experiencing this moment right now? What is it that's aware, that I'm aware of this moment right now? And just like that, in an instant, we can open up to this eternal stillness. And once anybody's had a taste of this peace, then usually what happens is the heart just longs to drink it more and more, to deepen in it, to dissolve in it, to give one's life to this.
I forgot we were recording for a moment. I was just, there's a presence, I think, that I started to tap into and relax into as you were speaking. It's my understanding, just from listening to you in the past, that you found this piece for yourself fairly early and have been sharing it since. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. When I was in my early 20s, I started to feel unfulfilled by life. I mean, I didn't really have any big problems, just something felt like there must be something more here than I had a nice job, nice friends, nice relationship, but felt like something was missing. And I started to question, what's the meaning of life? What is the real meaning of all this? Is there something more? And those questions ignited a search for meaning, for a search for God. And that led me to the land of spirituality, India. And while I was there doing a lot of meditation, something opened up, and the construct of the mind fell away. And since then, something shifted, and there was a longing to share this with other people and explore with other people. And I just love to sit and be together without having to be any certain way, just enjoying being present together.
Um, I'm finding it a little difficult to speak, which is not a good thing for a conversation. Um, I'm wondering, I'm not going to look at the Facebook page, though I'd love for you guys to say hello. And I imagine you might be tapping into this same piece too as you're listening. My experience is that when you listen to replays, you'll also tap into the same energies. So you might want to share the video, save the video. I was looking at some of your work, and this term, practice of embodied awareness, just lit up for me. I don't know that it's familiar. Done a lot of awareness practice, and I can feel myself in my body, but I'd love for you to share a little bit of what you mean by that, by the practice of embodied awareness.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, there's two parts to this practice, and the essence of it is the awareness part, which means to allow our attention to rest as pure awareness. And everybody can do this in this moment right now. When I say do, but it's not even a doing, it's more like a non-doing. So it means just allowing your attention to come fully present here and now, and noticing that you're aware of sounds, aware of the body breathing, aware of thoughts, maybe aware of smells and tastes, aware of the sensation of the body touching the chair and the clothes touching the skin. So there's all these experiences happening. And when we're just present with the experiences, then there's a recognition that actually I'm not doing it. I'm not breathing. We say I am breathing, but the body is breathing, and I'm aware that the body's breathing, and that awareness isn't doing anything. So it's stopping stopping of the idea that I am doing something and just watching. So we say, I am listening or I am hearing, but actually sounds are appearing in me awareness and I'm aware of them. So we bypass the idea of I, which is a concept. It's an idea of a me. And that is a gateway to what's deeper than that concept, the personality, the physical body, the memories, the likes, the dislikes, the hopes, the wants, all of that. We go beyond it to what's deeper, our essence, which is this pure awareness. And as awareness, we're beyond thought, so there's no problems. There's no, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, this is spiritual, this is not spiritual. Everything just is. And in that isness, in the acceptance of what is, without any resistance, that's where we discover peace. So this is the foundation to allow the attention just to rest here and just to be as you are right now without any effort to change anything, fix anything, become anything, get anything, achieve anything. Just let it all go. And for some people that feels a bit unfamiliar or even uncomfortable because there's such a habit of efforting to do something, like, oh, I have to be busy right now, I have to make some effort to do something or to achieve something, I have to fix some problems. So just by giving that up, the peace that we long for, that the mind tells us that we'll get in the future when the problems have been fixed, is actually here now. And as we're allowing ourselves to just rest here in this non-doing, it's a bit like melting into a sea of tranquility. Then we become aware of the experience of the body, which is actually experienced as sensations. So if you just let your attention kind of drop into the body, become aware of the body that's breathing and just watching the breath, then we can feel sensations in the body, maybe tingling in the hands and feet, maybe heat, maybe cold. And as we include these sensations, then a divine process starts to take place. And there's not anything to do, but we're just aware of it and allowing it, because our system opens up as we rest as awareness to higher consciousness. And that higher consciousness, the light of God, begins to penetrate through our system onto every level. And as it's a divine intelligence, it's the same one consciousness that animates all life. The intelligence of it draws out any unconsciousness in our system. So just by sitting in presence, sitting in being, any unconscious thoughts or beliefs are pulled out into our conscious awareness. Any unprocessed emotions held in the body from the past, our whole life, start to draw out. And sometimes people start to cry and they say, I don't know why I'm crying. Where are these tears coming from? And it's good. It means that the practice is working because it's cleansing the system. It's healing the system on deep levels. And this is a process that happens over time. It's a process of integration and transformation, which affects our expression on the human level, so that we become a more clear living embodiment of the truth of who we are, pure consciousness.
really beautiful. And I'm feeling I was pretty peaceful and open when we began. But there's something else, and I wonder if you could comment. I believe I heard you say there's something outside of us that's working on us, right? Did I hear you, like, as you rest in awareness? I was experiencing it more than hearing the specific words, but it's like a divine presence having its way with the body or with me. Is that sort of what's going on right now?
Yes, it may seem like it's outside of us, but when that shift in identity takes place, where from me as a separate individual conceptual self, an idea of me as this limited form in this body, and we recognize this deeper essence of who we are, awareness, and we inquire into the nature of this awareness, then what we discover is that it doesn't have any form. It doesn't have any limits or borders. It doesn't have any shape, any size. It's formless. And it doesn't have any beginning or end. No words can describe it because the language is limited. And so there's no inside or outside either. It's all that is. And when our attention shifts, what happens is the focus of our attention opens up and we experience ourselves as this divine intelligence. And that intelligence does begin to affect, by cleansing, the physical form. But there's no separation between the two. If we look, if me awareness, that which is aware, has a beginning or has an end, or if there's any distance between awareness and anything that's appearing in awareness, it's seamless, it's borderless. And from here, there's a recognition that everything is one. It seems like there's an apparent other speaking to me in a separate body, but beyond the limitations of that temporary form, which will dissolve, as all forms do, there's actually just appearances in me awareness. So I'm only ever interacting with myself that's appearing as other forms. All is the divine reflecting itself back to me, the divine. I am the divine. And yet that part of us that's having the experience as a human, on that level, always feels a longing to become closer to the divine. So it's a paradox. There's always that longing to know God deeper. And at the same time, a recognition that actually I am God because there's only one.
So I am having, I think it's obvious, an experience right now in your presence and listening to your words. And we've only been together for 15 minutes. At the Know ThySelf conference, you will be speaking and sharing, I think, for 90 minutes, 75 or 90 minutes. If I remember properly, you love working one-on-one with people. Yeah. Can you give anybody a sense of what they can expect when they come and spend time with you at the conference, or if they come and visit you on your website?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, at the conference, I will be starting the session with a guided meditation. So that will be direct pointings for people, not just to take on this information mentally, to understand it as a belief, but to really follow the pointings in the moment, to know this teaching as the truth experientially for themselves. And it's very simple. You don't need any level of education to get this. It's incredibly simple, and it's accessible and available to everybody. So we'll start with a guided meditation, and after that there will be a short talk on the nature of the true self and how to know that. And then there'll be opportunity for people to ask questions or explore. If something comes up for them in the moment, they don't understand something, they can come up on screen and we can talk together, or they can ask me directly.
I didn't know this question was coming up, but I'm going to ask it. I am feeling a little teary and very soft. This energy feels wonderful. And pretty much everybody in the world right now is experiencing some level of fear. Anyone that's believing the world and what's going on in the Ukraine and Afghanistan and various places, there's a lot of apparent chaos and fear. And I wonder, even in this moment now, please register for the conference and come and spend time with Louise K and the other speakers. To register and attend live is free, so come and bring your friends. But for those that want to tap into something, to be of help right now, is there anything you'd like to say or share?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now there is a lot of turmoil externally on the planet, and that can trigger internal turmoil inside each of us. And usually when that happens, then there's a movement that arises that wants to fix. How do I fix this pain that I'm feeling? How do I get rid of this fear? How do I make my heart stop hurting? Because we're sensitive and we see the pain of others and we feel it deep in our hearts. How do I stop that? And often there can come with that feeling of powerlessness because it's happening on the other side of the world. I can't do anything about it. And that brings frustration. So there's a lot of emotions there. Now, we all want the same thing. We all ultimately want peace. And even people that are expressing what we could call evil in the world are doing it from a distorted idea that if they do that, it's going to make them feel better. They're going to get happy. If I rob a bank and I get lots of money, then I won't feel stressed. I'll feel happy. So that's what drives them. It's the same thing that drives us on the search for God, the search for spirituality. It's a longing for peace and happiness. And that peace and happiness that we all long for starts inside of each one of us. And the way that we do that is by not trying to fix the fear, not trying to mend our broken hearts that are crying, not trying to push away the sadness, but by opening to it inside of us with unconditional love and giving space for those emotions. Oh, yeah, fear. I see you. You can be here too. And feeling that deeply, allowing the body to feel how that feels without engaging in a narrative of the mind. Usually the mind produces a lot of thoughts about this person's wrong, this person shouldn't do that. Not giving attention to that, but giving the attention to this background stillness and this presence, and including the experience of the body. And our heart begins to open, because the heart's like a flower that blossoms in presence. And it opens up and it loves to love. And it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say, I love happiness and I love excitement and I love positivity, but the rest, I don't want that. No, the heart is unconditional. So it can hold space for the fear, for the sadness. And we allow the heart to break open in this love. And as it breaks open, then we go through that darkness and discover that on the other side of it, there's only infinite light. And to know this peace inside of us allows us to embody peace, and this unconditional love then begins to overflow. We begin to emanate it in all our interactions in the world. So rather than meeting with our friends and saying, did you see what happened? I watched the news, this was terrible, which is throwing fuel on the fire. We're deeply at peace inside. And that peace has a positive impact. It's like ripples flowing out into the world, even to the other side of the world, where on some level it can have an impact.
So the best thing we could do for the world is open our heart and connect with the peace through these practices or the others that we're attracted to, and then just be in the world and spread it.
Yes, yes.
All right, sign me up. Is there anything else you'd like to share? This has been wonderful. I feel a little high just from being with you and listening to you and saying yes to your pointing. So I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity and looking forward to working with you in the conference. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, thank you, Cindy, for inviting me to talk to you also. It's been really beautiful for me, and I'm very much looking forward to having the opportunity at the conference to dive deeper into these teachings with people. And if anyone is interested in having a taste of that before the conference, I'd like to invite them to my open Zoom meetings, which are every Sunday, and everyone's welcome. It's by donation. So that's pretty much the same thing with the guided meditation and explorations. And if anybody feels a call in their heart to discover the essence that lies beyond the forms, what we've been speaking about today, then I'm here to explore with anyone who has that interest.
Wonderful. I'll make sure your website is posted in the comments when we're done here. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Go ahead and watch it again and tell your friends. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.